Hello, JobStream family. It is Adonis McReynolds with you and my co founder, Jess Seitz. We are here to talk about something very significant today, and that is video marketing and why it's the future. A lot of people do not understand today that we have actually shifted in our culture from being taken out on a date by an employer without really being known to now the employer needing to know pretty much everything about you before they'd even be willing to date you. And I use this term kind of playfully, right? Jess, we've seen in the market that many people are struggling to get interviews, and we find that it's mostly because of the competition. What are you saying there?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just reading that it's been about the average now is about 6 months that people are looking for a job, which is really crazy. And most people do not have 6 months of expenses just saved up to last. So it must be extremely stressful. And these are happening in positions that you wouldn't think it was happening to, especially marketing. And even at the executive level, people are having a harder time. Yet with sales, we were seeing an average of 3 months, which is a lot better. So there are still certain positions where it could be good. But the point is, it's been very, very competitive out there, very, very hard to land a job. And video marketing will put you ahead of the competition, will really change the game for you.
Yeah, and it's really important to note as well that it can't just be your Loom video, right? Like you shooting a Loom video and that's really it. Like there needs to be structure. There needs to be specific things that you're talking about. Now, certainly if you're a very entertaining and good-looking person, maybe you do land a job using Loom and just randomly shooting out of thin air, right? But most people need a plan. And I would strongly suggest that if you're going to do any type of video marketing for your own job search or even to get clients, by the way, for your business owners out there, video is just as important for you. People are looking you up and down, up and down. Like, am I going to get scammed? What's going on here? You build trust through video. Video is the way these days to be able to get in front of your consumers or whoever it is that you're trying to market to without necessarily having to stand in front of them, right? So that's the idea here. Now, regarding the plan and how one creates a really good plan for video marketing, step number one, know your audience, right? You can't just get on a video and just start babbling, right? Because what you say matters. Everything that you say is going to be absorbed by an audience. Now, if that video is going to that audience, kudos. Like that's the first step, you getting that right. But if you're filming videos and you're not filming it with the audience in mind, it could be the biggest reason why you're not actually getting any engagement with your posts. Jess, did you have anything to add on that point?
Honestly, no, that's a really great plan. And that goes for everything you do when it comes to getting a job. You really want to know the audience of who is hiring you, why they're hiring you, and you want to tailor everything to that. So your video, your LinkedIn, your CV, if you're posting content, which you should be doing, then that as well. So that's just an amazing tip to take overall, and especially when it comes to videos.
Yeah, and that kind of goes and ties into some other things we talk about on our YouTube channel and just in general. We call it the identity sessions, right? So when we talk about identity, which we do on our YouTube channel, look that up. It's going to be very helpful for you. That's what establishes who your audiences are, right? Who you are and what you do as a service is going to matter for who you are going to talk to. So keep that in mind as it pertains to creating videos. Now, the second important tip that's pretty straightforward also is rather than just talking about a ton of different things in one video, create multiple videos that are only focused on one thing, right? So let's say you're a salesperson and you're looking for a job in a specific industry. Don't shoot a video talking about five different points of subject matter and launch it all at the prospect or the person that you're targeting in one full go, right? Like ideally speaking, you want your videos to be short and you want them to be talking about one specific thing. Like in this video, for example, we're talking about video marketing. So we're going to keep it to the point and we're going to try not to exceed a 15-minute time limit, right? Because we know people are busy and they'll make all kinds of excuses not to watch things. So make sure that your video is brief and sticking to one talking point that you really hammer home and make that point in your video. What do you think about that,
Yeah, that's
Jess?
also a great. And also I feel like it makes it less daunting to do that. If you think you have to sit down and create some like Hollywood production 1 hour long video, it's gonna be like your brain's just not gonna want to do it. But if you're like, oh, I just need to sit down and make a 2 to 5 minute video, it's so much easier, so much less daunting. And something that I love to do is batch my content. So, you can use this trick where you switch your shirt. You could put on three, four different shirts, and you just make your 2 to 5 minute videos all in the same day. So that way you don't have to be like annoyed every day of thinking about it. You just set 2 hours aside, create 5 videos in those 2 hours, and make sure each video is, under 15 minutes, and then you're good to go. That just puts you so much ahead of the competition. And it's really not that crazy if you think about just doing it in 2 hours, max in a week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Loved everything you just said there. We've done that from time to time. We'll shoot multiple videos in the same day and, change the shirt and all that kind of stuff. I know I'm not supposed to reveal our
Change your
secrets,
shirt.
but you
It
know.
is.
But anyway, yeah, I mean it's a great tip because at the end of the day, like you're just looking for ways to capture the attention of your audience. One of the final tips I'll provide here, and we can definitely provide far more once we get into a client relationship, is not only do you want to make sure that your videos are short, that you're covering all the points, that you're covering the topics that you want to cover, but you really have to make sure that you're actually answering the questions that your audience is asking and really exposing who you actually are, the purpose of what you're doing. Make it very clear, especially if you're a job seeker. You don't want to be a beggar, but you also don't want to come across as like some know-it-all, like I'm trying to become a consultant for you or a business owner trying to do business with you. Make your goals actually clear. If you're looking for a job, make that obvious, right? Like obviously you can send them the resume and let them know, hey, I've been on the market and I'm looking for an opportunity. Make sure those things are very clear and known. On the flip side, as a consultant, make sure they know very clearly what you're doing, right? And this kind of ties back into point two a little bit in terms of being very concise and like having a very set point that you're trying to make in your videos. But it's very confusing for people if they're receiving a video from you and they don't know who you are and why you're ultimately reaching out to them. Relevant things to share about yourself, by the way, does not include um, the fact that you have a dog named Oliver or you like chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. Like, don't get me wrong, like you can share those things as fun facts or like little things, but ultimately, you need to show them in your video why you're valuable, right? Because unless they understand that you bring value to the table, they're not going to give a crap, quite honestly, about who you are. They need to know that you actually have experience, data, things that relationships. I call it the IRS, right? So you have your information, you have your relationships, and you have your services. It's a different type of IRS. We're not talking about the Internal Revenue Services. We're talking about information, we're talking about relationships, and we're talking about services. Things that make you valuable to somebody who's watching your video. Right now, we're sharing information with you, right? And we do have relationships with people in the market who look for talent. We also have services that we offer. There's the value right there. That's why you're watching this video. The same needs to apply for you when you reach out to someone else. They need to get an understanding that you're providing one of those three things: a service, relationship, or some type of information. And if it's really valuable input, they're going to keep coming back to your videos. If you continue to produce content, short clips, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, however long, it just needs to be concise. It needs to be to the point. They need to understand the value you bring. And of course, if you bring a little flair, personality, your own, way of saying things and doing things, that's just going to be extra frosting on top of that cake. What say you?
Yeah, absolutely agreed. Think of your video kind of like your resume come to life. Like your resume needs to be very to the point, very concise. It needs to have a lot of data. Like we don't want the fluff words of like active leader. We want to show exactly how you are an active leader, like led a team of 15 people and reduced, costs by 15%. Things like that are way more valuable. So in your video, kind of think of that. You don't want to just like read your resume, but you just want it to be kind of like a real living, breathing resume.
Amen to that. So whether you're a consultant who's struggling to get more clients or whether you're somebody who's barely getting any interviews right now, these are definitely some tips you're going to want to take to heart. Video marketing is the future. There is no getting away from it. You're going to have to become good at it or partner with people that are. We have the ability to create a whole structure for you where doing this is actually going to be quite effortless, and we'll actually supply the means by which you'll be able to do this effectively, efficiently, and get more attention and activity going for you in whatever endeavors you're pursuing. With that said, I'll leave Jess with the closing statements. We're excited.
Yeah, absolutely. JobStream AI is fully equipped to help you with your videos, and we even have professional editors who are going to give you a super polished product, and it will be on all platforms. We can even take clips if your video is going to be 10 or 15 minutes long. We can even provide you with clips to put on TikTok and Instagram and all these things, which sounds crazy, but that is really the world we're living in. And if you do these things, you will get a job and you will, make so much more money than the average person. So it's really worth it. Contact us at www.jobstreamai.com. You can book a call with us. You can see what we do, and we're excited to see you on the other side.